Hello there, it's Jan here at JB Crafts. Thank you for joining me on the channel today. I'm back with my next Christmas project. So we're doing 12 days of Christmas. So that was 2 projects for 6 weeks leading up to Christmas, and this is project number 6. All right, so there are 5 already up, different styles, card making, box making, gift tags, things like that. And today I've gone, for me, quite clean and simple. It may not fit the overall theme of clean and simple. There's maybe not enough white space on it, but for my type of crafting, this is fairly straightforward and fairly simple for me. So I wanted to just have that nice clean look, just to sort of pop something different in there. You know, there's a little bit of die cut involved. I've stamped the sentiment in there, but I've kept it relatively I think clean looking is probably the word. So it's got a little wreath in the background. It can be any wreath die. This is out of one of my Tim Holtz foliage sets. And then I've just used some stars and snowflakes and a little bow there. I think I might put a pearl in the centre of the bow as well. It's a 5x5 design, so just a small one today. And then I've got a nice simple greeting inside. Added one of the little stars just to link it again to the front, as I often do. As I say, very, very straightforward. So yeah, just a nice easy one today. If you're wanting to sort of make a batch of Christmas cards, this one would be quite easy to do, not very time consuming. So yeah, I'm just going to show you how I've put it together. And as I say, it's not a difficult one today. I've got a 5x5 card blank. This is actually a shop bought. Well, it's out of the kits that I used to have. I amalgamated all the cards because they weren't getting used, and I've got a stash of them I'm working through. So just 5x5, and I'm going to make it a little top fold today, a tent fold. And then I've got 2 layers to fit on there. I've got 1/2 inch smaller at 4.5 inches, and this is just a piece of ivory or champagne glitter card. And then I've come down 1/8 inch at 4 3/8 because I just wanted a very, very skinny little border around it, just to lift it. Originally I thought I'll go white on white, but no, just to lift it a little bit and bring it all together, I've just got that tiny skinny little white border that's going to go round the edge there. So we'll get those popped together, and then I can work on top of it. So we're going to pop a couple of different glues, and I'll explain why. So I'm going to use my all-purpose glue to pop the glitter card onto the card. Because the back of this is just cardstock, I am going to go with that nice strong adhesive. But then when we do the top layer, I am going to change my glue, because this being solvent based, it doesn't particularly like things that have a coating on them. Now then, that one's coming out like crazy today. I'm not quite sure why. We didn't need that much, Jan. It's obviously decided to go on one. There we go. So yeah, this one's just going to go flat onto the card, and there's a nice little border all the way around. So I've got a 1/4 inch border all the way around the white there that I'm just going to eyeball and get that in place. But when we go on to this one, I'm actually going to swap over to my acrylic glue. As I say, the solvent glue can affect the coatings on a coated card, and a glitter card is just a plain cardstock with that glitter coating over the top. So we're actually going to go with the acrylic glue. And I'm still getting the last little bits out of this bottle. I've not swapped it yet. It's lasted quite a while, and I do use it regularly. So that one's going to go on top. And again, there is just the skinniest of little tiny borders. It's about a 1/16 inch all the way around there. The wet glue just allows you to get all that in place before you commit to pressing it down. And then we've got our card base to work on there. So I have die cut the elements ready. There was a little bit of die cutting involved, and I want to stamp the sentiment in the centre of this. So I'm going to bring in my stamp press. I could have done that actually before I stuck it down, but we'll be okay. Let's just get rid of the other glue. Okay, so I'm going to pop this into the corner of the stamp press and hold that in place. And then I've die cut my wreath. As I say, this is from one of my Tim Holtz foliage sets, and I've done it a couple of times just to make it a little bit more sort of substantial. And I'm going to decide which way around I want it, lay it in there so that I can get the positioning right, and I want it to be about central in that panel. And then I'm just going to pop my little sentiment in the middle here, and it just says sending holiday cheer. And you could put anything in the middle of here. It doesn't have to be a Christmas card, of course. This would be easily adaptable for an everyday card. Pick that up with my platform door, and then we can move this one out of the way for a second. And I'm just going to bring in my VersaFine Clair, which is a really nice strong black ink. Ink it up. It's really fine. I love these sentiments. They were just ones that I found on the internet. And again, I'm going to give it a couple of coatings just to strengthen that black, like so. So we can pop that away. That's the only stamping that I've done today. And then I'm just going to give that a little clean with my cloth, and that one can be drying while we sort the other bits and pieces out. So, you know, if you wanted to go really, really clean and simple, you know, you could just sort of do something like this. And then, you know, I've die cut some of the things, you know, you could literally, you know, just sort of keep it really, really simple and just go for something as simple as that. You know, if you wanted to batch make and make them quickly, it doesn't have to be anything too fussy. You know, you could literally just go, I mean, I've got these ready to put on the wreath, but if you just wanted to pop these on like so, I mean, that's really elegant. You know, you could stay there with it. But I've actually die cut some. I wanted a pop of black in here as well. I've got I've done everything in threes apart from the bow. I've got 3 snowflakes, which I've popped some little crystal gems in the centre. I've got 3 gold stars, and I've got 3 black stars, and then my bow. All right, so all we're going to do then is add some glue to the wreath. So I'm just going to pop that over, and I'm going to stay with that acrylic glue for this. It'll do the job. I often call it my embellishment glue. It grabs and starts to dry quite quickly, which is what you want when you pop in embellishments in place. So I'm just going to do little dots of glue around it so that it's anchored pretty well, but it's not going to hang off the edge of the card, so I'm not worried about it getting knocked at all. And then lay this one down. I'm going to pop it the same way as I think I had before, which I think is that way. It's not the end of the world if it's not. And then get that one pretty much centered, so I've got around about the same space all the way around there. Just give that a press down so that we've got that in place. And because I've doubled it up, it's given it a little bit of dimension there as well. Everything else is flat, but you can actually, you know, there is quite a bit of dimension with the 2 layers of cardstock on there. And then we're literally, I'm going to follow the same design that I did on the other one. So I'm just going to add little dabs of glue in the center here, and then we're going to pop these in place. So I started off with my snowflakes, and I'm just sort of going to do like a triangle with my sets of 3. So we're going to go 1, 2, and then the little tiny one, the baby one there. And again, these are from, I put all my snowflake dies together because rather than just keeping them in the sets, I've just popped them all together so that I can see what sizes I've got. So we've got 3 snowflakes, and then we're going to go with 3 of the gold ones. I've got 2 large gold ones, and the smaller gold star is actually like a little freebie that comes out of the middle of this one when you die cut it. So this one here is actually the center out of here, but we're going to go up to the top there, and I'm just going to hold that down with my finger until that glue grabs. Then I'm going to bring one again. I'm going to work in the sets of 3 so that we've got those colours distributed nice and evenly. I'm going to come down here with one of them, like so. And then this one is going to go over the other side. So again, this one's going to come sort of over here. I'm going to put my bow in the middle so that I've not that, well, I'm saying in the middle, at the bottom in the middle. so that that's actually anchored. So I'm just going to eyeball whereabouts the centre of that card is and pop that one down there. And then we've just got the 3 black ones. And you might think, oh, it's a bit, you know, black's a dark colour to be putting on Christmas cards, but I love the combination of black, white and gold, and it links that black from the sentiment in there as well. So we're going to have one down there, and then I'm going to go in that triangle again and fit these in the gaps, just so that you've got that kind of design feature there. Oops. We're going to pop one in there, and then I'm going to put the little one again, the freebie one, out of the centre. It's going to go up here. So just twisting them and turning them so that they're not all the same way. Okay, and that is literally as simple as it is today. You know, I just think this actually pops together a really nice little design. And you could do any colourways. You know, if you're not wanting the black and gold, you could do this in traditional red, gold and green. It would look lovely. You could do it in the contemporary colours, either in the pinks, lilacs, turquoise, as I always think look nice for Christmas. They don't have to be snowflakes and stars. You could put holly on there. You could put little bells on there. It would look nice with little gingerbread on there. As I say, anything that's sort of specific to Christmas time if you're making it as a Christmas card. If not, you know, translate it into everyday. Butterflies around there would look nice. Buttons would look nice on it. Flowers, obviously, if you're wanting to do it more as an everyday and a birthday or an ordinary celebration, you know, what's ordinary, an everyday celebration rather than a Christmas one. But I chose to do it for Christmas, and all I've done is added some extra bling. You won't be surprised there at all. I've got these little tiny snowflakes. That one's been naughty now, you get up there. Little tiny snowflakes that I've had in my stash for quite a while there. I've popped 3 of those in. They're not easy to see, but they are, again, just 1, 2, 3, continuing working in that triangular mode. Then I've got 1, 2, 3 black, and then I've just got a very, very slight, these are like a very sort of smoky grey, because I couldn't find a gold that matched this. I wanted to put gold on, but mine was very, very yellow, so this is just a very, very pale smoky grey, which sort of toned in with it. And I've got the 1, 2, 3 again on there. And as I say, I think I might put one in the centre for the photograph of that bow there. So sending holiday cheer, Merry Christmas with the little star. This was one of the insides of here that was left over, and just linking it again to the outside. So yeah, a nice quick one for project number 6. I just thought it would be nice to have that in there. We don't all have lots of time for crafting. Even though I'm not working now, I still seem to run out of time for doing things. So it's nice to have something quite quick. You can do a batch of die cutting and have all these, you know, different ones. If you wanted to do the red, gold and green, or as I say, a contemporary colour, get them all die cut. And then you could literally, you know, get your cards ready, put your mats and layers on, put your wreaths on them all, and then put your embellishments on. And you could make them, they'd look nice as a little gift set. You could make 3 or 4 of these and actually pop them in a box and make a little gift set, leave the inside blank for people to put their own message on. So yeah, I think with the smaller cards, they look nice done as a gift set, and do them to gift rather than actually send them as a, you know, a greeting card. So lots of ways around it. So I hope you've enjoyed that one today. As I say, something nice and simple today, not too involved, and a reasonably short video for you today. So consider giving it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you back here very soon for another tutorial. So enjoy your day, and I'll be back then. Bye bye.